Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at super microcomputer. It is time for another update, and today we will be discussing about the relevant support areas and the likely bottoms that we may form locally here before we start a reversal to the upside, and the relevant resistance areas that we currently must break for a signal that indeed we have bottomed and started this movement to the upside. Now, before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new, where at the moment we are still tracking the possibility of an impulse forming, where in that case we are tracking a series of 1-2 setups in this area, and even here an internal 1-2, a third wave up, and here a fourth wave correction that we are tracking right now, in which we expect to find support at the levels between the $43.5 all the way down to the $14 level. Now, in this wave 4, this is the area of the most focus. We could have technically bottomed because we do have the ability of considering this an A, B, C pattern complete, and we could be in the fifth wave to the upside. Unfortunately, since we only managed to form a 3-wave structure to the upside, here something like WXY, we don't necessarily have any much of an increase in the likelihood that we have bottomed. Instead, it would rather be suggested to us that we should be prepared for an extension within this wave 4 correction. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem even within the idea of an impulse because, we do still have room within this area. We do still have the ability to extend lower without invalidating the scenario. Now, if we actually end up breaking below the $14 level, that would be a warning sign, and we would most likely need to be tracking a different pattern, and definitely, we wouldn't even be able to actually be tracking an impulse in that case. But at this point, even if it extends, even if this wave 4 extends lower, we could still track a possible fifth wave within an impulse. And by the way, this wave 4 could easily form also a triangle, a sideways triangle before we actually form the fifth wave to the upside. Now, currently at this point we don't necessarily track the triangle idea, but we do track in the orange scenario a possible extension within the wave 4. At the moment we don't necessarily have on the chart a direct count for a breakout to the upside. We do have relevant support areas here in the very short time frame that would allow us to extend higher, and if we do so, we will track continuation for movements still higher, and we will provide additional support areas, but that is not necessary at this point. And internally here we are tracking within this orange scenario the continuation to a new low within an A, B, C structure, where in the wave C I would expect to form a 5-wave move to the downside. Now, this could technically unfold as a WXY as well, no problem, but that is not what I am currently tracking, at least. Now, within this structure, we also have the possibility of following through in the green scenario, which would really just be an extension of the orange scenario, where instead of having a top here within the wave B, we have a wave W up, we have an X wave down, and we would be tracking a wave Y to the upside, within which we have so far completed the wave A, and we are now tracking the wave B correction, where we have the area of support between the $45.8 all the way down to the $32.9 level for the reversal to the upside within the wave C. Now, within this structure, we have so far completed an A wave down, a B wave up, and we are tracking the C wave to the downside. This does most likely need to form an ABC pattern, which means we do need to probably see a 5-wave move to the downside within this movement, and in that case, we would realistically be tracking a zigzag correction. And within this pattern, within this wave B, we have so far actually pushed into this internal wave B beyond the resistance area, and we still managed to follow through. So that may be a hint, a signal that we may end up breaking here the structure of support, which would decrease the probabilities of this working out. It would affect them significantly, but really we need for an invalidation, we need to break below the beginning of this wave A, which would be at around the $27.7 level. And as long as we hold above that, there still is a chance, but for the probabilities to still be good and decent, we actually need to hold here the $32.9 level at the 78.6% retracement. Now, internally within this structure, we have been tracking some ideas of how this could work out to the downside, and in orange, we are tracking here a possible one down, a wave 2 up, and here a third wave to the downside. And within this wave 3, we would need to see an impulse, meaning that we need to be tracking here a 1 2 1 2, where this would be a third wave down, a fourth wave up to follow, and then a fifth wave to take us even lower. Now within this wave 3, we have so far formed a 1 2 and 3 and a 4. It seems, yeah, we did push into the area of resistance, and we would now be in the fifth wave to the downside. I do also have to say, we did reach also in the green scenario the area of resistance where we were tracking a larger fifth wave or a larger 5 wave move down within the wave C, where here would be a wave 1, a wave 2 up, and then we would actually need to likely consider this a third wave down, here a fourth wave up, and then a fifth wave to be unfolding right now, in which scenario we may actually be heading towards a bottom even at this time, yeah, because I would be tracking, or I not even would be, I am tracking within the green scenario an ending diagonal within the wave C, where we had an A, or even here an ABC structure within the wave 1, an ABC structure within the wave 2, and here an ABC structure within the wave 3, ABC within the wave 4, and now ABC within the fifth wave down, where in the pre-market trading, yeah, it does seem we are still heading lower. Now, if we really work out here within the green scenario, we may see a more significant bottom within the wave B and even start the wave C to the upside. And in many of the charts, we do actually see that they seem to be preparing for a relief rally, at least, if not something more significant. And it is unfortunate that on this chart, actually, it is more likely at this point, based on the internal structure of this movement to the downside, to be within the orange interpretation, which technically would still be fine for the green scenario, but then I would need to extend this third wave down, and I would need to look again for this wave 4 correction, which, yeah, isn't necessarily a problem. But if we push this low within the wave 3 and we get then a wave 4 correction, we are quite likely to break below the support area within the fifth wave to the downside, even within the green scenario, which would already put us in a more difficult place, where already on this chart it is highly complex. Yeah, this is a highly complex structure and correction, and even from a large time frame perspective, it is not one of the simpler charts. And yeah, to add even this to it, well, it is unfortunate, but this is the current case, and I believe we probably do need to actually track this idea still, where we should be prepared for another top here within the wave 4 in green, and then another low even in the green scenario, and even within the wave C here, before we can actually find a more reliable bottom. Now, of course, if we manage to break above the resistance area for such a case, that would be a very, very great signal to have already formed the bottom. And for that, I will, well, right now I have a current low in at this level, but yeah, we can see in the pre-market trading we are already heading lower, so this will need to be adjusted. But yeah, at the current prices, we can see that the level that we must break is the $45.7 for an indication that we have indeed bottomed. And once again, it is possible. It is possible for us to bottom within this structure directly, where in green we would have a 1 2 3 4th and the 5th down. And yeah, within this wave 5 we have an ABC, where in the wave C we already have a 1 2 3 and the 4th and a 5th, where yeah, in that case we may even complete it as soon as we open, and we have a local bottom within this structure. But now to get back to the orange scenario, because here I could in fact track even an impulse within this fifth wave down, where in that case I could argue that this is a 1 2 1 2, another 1 2 here, a third wave down, a fourth wave up, and then yeah, here we need a series of 4 or 5 patterns, where within this wave 5 we might already trend even below the $32.9 level. Now, for a direct continuation to the downside, I would also like to consider the possibility of forming an ending diagonal within this wave 5, where in that case I would be watching out based on the close prices for resistance here at the levels between, actually let's just change the color, but at the levels between the $35.9 all the way up to the $37.8. And if we take the current pre-market price as well, it would need to shift lower. The $35.2 is the first level of resistance that I would be watching for now from the current market prices, the pre-market. And for a signal of a reversal, I would need to see a break, yeah, above the $37.4. But as the prices adjust as we open, yeah, we would need to shift this lower and lower, and yeah, depends also on where we open. But for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.